Hey guys, Civilord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse new Eternia Roboto, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel. And much like Beastman, who came before him, he not only is an evil warrior this time around, which is kind of crazy, we'll get into that more in a minute, but he is another solid addition to the line. That kind of goes without saying at this point, because Masterverse just kind of fires on all cylinders. A lot of good releases. The quality control could be a little better, but in regards to this wave, in my personal experiences, everything's pretty much up to snuff as far as I'm concerned. So with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Roboto has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with his spinny saw blade, which I feel like could have used a couple more longer blades on it, because it looks more like a pinwheel. But it does spin, so that is fun. He also comes with his blaster, which does have a port on the end. I think the Hordak blast effect from the deluxe Hordak Masterverse, based off the Hordak from Princess of Power, will fit in there. I, stupidly enough, put mine back in storage, not knowing I was going to get this figure the same day that I was digging through some accessories, so joke's on me, I guess. And then he also comes with his Titty Twister of Doom, which does actually open and close, so that's pretty rad. I like that quite a bit. And then he also comes with a second jaw piece. Now, I'm not sure if this is the new Eternia jaw or the other one that's on him is, but this is the one that comes packaged on him. And if I bring him up close here, you can pop the jaw right off the face and see that he's got a skeleton face. It's pretty gnarly. And he does have like a helmet over his head, but this thing does not, it don't come off, at least not for me. Like, I can take the whole head off like that, but popping the head off is not gonna happen. So I just decided to leave it on there and admire anyone's whose was not glued in place at the factory. So let's snap this jaw back on here. There's 1, 2, and while you don't get a lot of range out of the jaw, unfortunately, in fact, I think Beastman's jaw gets more range than this, you do get some movement, and it does kind of pop in and out of place. Or into place, I should say. So it does work. I'm probably going to keep this jaw on, because it does have little slits on the side that allow you to see that skeletal face in there. But as far as the rest of his articulation is concerned, his head will rotate. I'd grab his head by the jaw, that way you don't pop his helmet off. He does kind of shift back and forth. He can look up and down a little bit. A little bit of tilt. Shoulders will go out to the side. Not this far. Back down. Full 360. He's got a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. Nice tight clicky joints on him too. Wrist swivel with a hinge. Now he's got grip hands for some reason, but I will tell you the pegs on his weapon attachments are the same as the wrist pegs, so you don't got to worry about snapping those. They're nice and solid. He does have this wheel on the back, and I think it turns the gears in his chest. I'm not sure about that, but it does twist. So I don't know if you can see anything moving in there, but it does something. at least, so that's pretty cool. Not for nothing, it does sound like there are some moving gears in there. But his waist does turn and crack my wrist at the same time. He's got the drop down hips. His were kind of stuck when I opened him, but I was able to shift them up and get them unstuck. His hips will rotate back and forth, out, back down. He does have a thigh cut, double jointed knee. Again, nice tight clicky joints on him. Almost as if they're like ratcheted this time around. Then he does have a boot cut with a hinge at the foot and a rocker joint. So, very solid Roboto figure here. I don't like him quite as much as Beastman, but I do like him. I think he's awesome. Roboto is one of my favorite heroic warriors, and despite the fact that they try to make him evil, it just don't seem right to put him with the bad guys, so I will for sure be putting him with my heroic warriors anyway. But he's still really cool. I think he came out awesome. You can never go wrong with a super fun Roboto figure. I like the Revelation one too, and I think this guy might be sharing some parts with him. At least the new Eternia trap drawn Manny-Faces maybe. I know they had similar legs and whatnot, but I cannot confirm nor deny that. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Roboto alongside the other figures available in this somewhat current wave of Masterverse figures. We have King Randor looking like he's going to have an hour away, as well as Beastman, and much like I said in the Beastman video from yesterday, I think all these figures scale quite nicely together, because back in the old days, the vintage Master of the Universe line, a lot of figures shared a lot of parts, and were pretty much the same scale, same height, same whatever. And this Masterverse line pretty much follows suit with that. However, it doesn't feel like you're getting the same thing over and over and over again, despite the fact that there is reuse. So that is pretty darn good, if you ask me, because some lines aren't able to achieve that. Marvel Legends. But getting those out of the way, so we can make way for our two regulars, the Mythic Legions of Brother Mandibilith, who also is rocking a skeletal complexion, and the infamous 11th Spawn, who I'm sure would be rocking a skeletal complexion if it weren't for his signature mask there. And much like Beastman from yesterday, he and Roboto are pretty evenly matched as far as height goes, so definitely not towering over everyone today. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and much like Beastman and all the others before him, gotta be honest with you guys and saying the good old Roboto here is another fine addition to the new Eternia subline from the fine folks over at Mattel's Masterverse line for, of course, their Masters of the Universe brand. Even though I'm going to be sticking him with my good guys, because that's just what Roboto is, at least to me. I do like the fact that they took a chance and did something different and made Roboto a little bit more evil, so that is awesome. You know, change is good, something different is good, something new and refreshing for the character is always good, so long as, you know, you keep it within bounds, we'll say. Can't say that the woke media does a good job of changing characters. Just ask Black Cat, Juggernaut, and several other characters you didn't know swing the other way of the fence. But in good old Roboto's case here, I think it's for the better. I think they did a really good job doing something different, despite the fact that, yeah, most people are going to probably completely ignore that and put them with their good guys anyways. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.